UVU's vegans and vegetarians are asking for more options.
We are simply asking for more vegetarian and vegan options on campus.
Students at UVU are looking for more vegan and vegetarian options on campus.
My title is the Director of Dining Services at UVU.
UVU has finally become a university, and I think we have a lot of growing to do, and I think that's a area that we really should grow in, and we really should think about, because we like to pride ourselves on diversity and on the fact that we have non-traditional students. And part of that is non-traditional student would be vegetarian or vegan, and supporting those sort of life choices.
You know, it's such a large university, and we have people from all over the world really at this point, that you're going to have people that have made the choice to be vegetarian and vegan, especially like vegans. I feel so bad for them because like there's not a whole ton of vegan options either.
Right.
So I think just kind of giving them options besides what they have now, and being open to feedback, and then actually doing something about it. Because I'm sure they get the feedback. It just, I don't feel like it goes very far. I think that's a big thing.
There's definitely places where it would be more prominent, and so if we have students, you know, from those places, and we clearly do, you know, there's students from all over the world on the campus, I think it'd be nice if their dietary requirements or desires are met better.
There are options, yes. You can go to Taco Bell, or you can go to Subway, or even Costa Vida and get a vegan and a vegetarian meal.
I can have a bean burrito now.
Yay.
Thanks.
I was talking to my mom recently about my struggles being a vegetarian on campus, and she's like, well, you can go to like Costa Vida or whatever it is and get, you know, like a cheese quesadilla. And I was like, yeah, because that's healthy. I want to eat like carbs and cheese. Like, that's not the point. So
It can definitely be difficult to get a great variety in food. There's some places like Costa Vida will have options available, and then if you want the vegan options, it's like you have the salad without the cheese, and I think that's just about it. And so there's salad you can get places, but that's really about it. You know, there's the vegetarian sushi, but it's only available if you go up to the place often. It's not usually at the other cafeterias. And then there's some like the Taco Bell foods that you can get vegetarian.
And people might say, you know, why don't you have more vegan, or why don't you have more vegetarian, or why don't you have more healthy items? Because they see a Taco Bell and they don't realize, you know, in Taco Bell you can select the Cantina Bell line, which is basically it takes out the deep fried taco shells, and you're using a shell that has less fat, and you're using more vegetables and less cheese. That's the healthy line for Taco Bell.
But again, that's very similar to Costa Vida, and so you're kind of stuck in just eating these very few food options, and that's fine for a couple of weeks, but then it gets really boring really quickly. You just kind of want some more variety, and you kind of want it to be able to find it easier, like more options at the cafeterias for sure.
I mean, when I walk into the cafeteria, it's like hide and seek. I have to find it. You have to scope it out. There's not like, even if they had like a whole section, like they have a salad bar and all this stuff, even if they had like, hey, here is our vegetarian things here, instead of saying, let me dig through all of this. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that.
I think there's an assumption that the vegetarian options that we have are good enough, and I don't think that's the case. I mean, open one of those salads and try and eat it yourself. It's terrible. We need more than just what's on there for different options. And vegetarians eat more than salad, not just salad. It's kind of boring to have to eat a salad every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets even harder the more vegan you get, of course. Like, I'm trying to cut out all the dairy products, and that makes it a lot harder. It just limits your possibilities a lot more.
there's just not a whole lot of options. Like, yeah, they have like those fruit cups and the, you know, veggie cups and stuff, but you know, you go up to the Valley View room and they don't really have like tofu on the menu, or they have like salads, but like that's kind of it. So there's not a lot of variety, and so it's like you're kind of eating the same thing every day. The people at Jamba Juice know my name because I'm there almost every day, and I get the same thing because there's just not anything else really, unless I want a salad, and that gets kind of old after a while. So.
So it's always there. Because it's a, I don't want to say an undercurrent, but it's a request that is not the most requested for, and people don't. It's at 3 to 4% of the people that may want to have a vegan item or a vegetarian item.
Maybe it's just because like the group that I run with, but I feel like there's a lot. Like I have a lot of friends that are either vegetarian or vegans or have tried to be and have found it so frustrating that they just kind of have given up. And I've had a lot of teachers as well.
In the philosophy department, there's certainly skewed numbers. And the best guess I can give is somewhere between 5 and 7%, but it's much higher in certain places.
If I had to guess, I hope there'd be, at least 100 or so, because I mean, it's a pretty big school. There's a lot of students. 100 would be, I think, small for the amount of students here, but I think it's a solid number, I could say.
Probably around 100 maybe. Just people that like sign our lists and show interest when we do Club Rush and whatnot. But again, we're only getting a pretty limited audience at those things, and there's a lot of students that don't take the time to go to Club Rush or sign up.
We don't have a dormitory and an all-meal plan and a dedicated dorm feeding plan here, so there's no forced feeding. I can't do that. The only thing that I can force upon people is things that they want, and so I have to, if they don't pull money out of their pocket and buy it, then I got to change to something that they do buy.
That food without meat can be really good.
I feel like if they were as aware as they claim they are, they would have the options. When I wrote the article for the paper, I interviewed the director of dining services, and he seemed to be aware that there were students in his faculty that are vegetarian, but I don't think they understand maybe how many or how little options there are. And so they do like a meatless Monday, but it's just Monday, where they have like a vegetarian option for lunch. And so that's kind of frustrating. It's just like one day a week for like a meal.
And something that's always been here, the 20 years that I've been here, is the mashed potatoes, gravy, and chicken tenders.
For example, I know the fries and chicken fillet option, which is by not at all the healthiest option on campus, is really popular, and they buy in a lot of that. So I think they look more at demand than typically the college students. We're not all that much into health foods generally, right? It's just whatever we can lay our hands on. That being said, recently a bunch of studies have come out that show that schools that have vegan, vegetarian menus generally, right, that it is generally a lot healthier for the students.
And you can go to Rockin' Robbie's and get a grilled cheese sandwich, which is vegetarian, not vegan obviously, but vegetarian.
That's really, I think myself and a lot of students here are just so busy. They can't stay in one place forever again. I have literally 10 minutes between classes, and if I want to grab something, I need to grab it, eat, while continue.
I have a few friends that have either tried veganism or have completely converted to veganism, and basically their options are like those fruit and veggie cups, and like that's kind of it.
So there's not very many vegan or vegetarian options anywhere. Like take the what is it called, the library cafe. I can't, like, the only option I think they have for a vegetarian option is a fruit bowl or a vegetable bowl, and even that has ranch or yogurt in it, which has milk, so it's not vegan, or soup. And those are your options, and those are terrible options.
Well, the only thing I really eat here on campus is the hash browns, and I'm sure I could make things, I could ask them to do things for me, but as far as like me going to class, getting, you know, I have to be here at a certain time, here at a certain time. That's really the only thing I could just, hey, can I have some hash browns? That's about the only thing I get out of eating here.
The word healthy is defined. It can be defined many ways, but I think to provide healthy food, I think I need to have fresh. I need to have variety, meaning we've got to include our proteins, include our vegetables, include our high fiber items, breads and so on. Basically an all-around well-rounded option for people to choose from.
So I think it's kind of this idea that you have a meat and then you have a starch and then you maybe have some vegetables on the side. And okay, we're gonna have to find some stuff on this, but as far as I can tell, like a lot of the studies say that having a larger amount of vegetables with a small amount of meat is healthier for you.
We have like a Pizza Hut, and we have like the Rockin' Robbie's Diner Place or whatever. So yeah, like they say, like, oh, well, you can go upstairs and like get a salad, but like that's not what you want to eat all day every day. And yeah, you can get options like Costa Vida, but those aren't the healthiest. Or for people who eat fish, there's sushi and stuff, but like that gets old too. So I feel like there's not a ton of like really, if you think about it, healthy options. So
You know, it's probably easier to eat healthier on a vegan-vegetarian diet than it is with a meat-based diet.
I think they try. I do think they try. I don't think they're trying hard enough. It's not a hard thing to do, really. It's not a hard thing to do. But I see that they have the the healthy option. But that's just one thing. It shouldn't be an option to be healthy. It should just be healthy.
Like any vegetarian options will do, just get us vegetarian options. But while we're into progress, yeah, I mean, healthy is always better. And I think students have a hard enough time eating healthy as it is. We all have jobs and school and busy schedules, and so we usually default to the unhealthy options. And the easier it is to eat healthy on campus, I think the better it is, of course, for sure.
I mean, maybe we're not making enough of a stink, but I feel like there's like the Animal Allies Club. And I know that like things like this go on all the time where people are like, you know, making documentaries or like writing articles for the paper about what it's like to have to deal with the limited options here. And I feel like they say that, but maybe they just think that they're doing enough. Do you know what I mean? Because like if you're not a vegetarian, you're like, well, they can eat like fruits and veggies, and that's, you know, that's great. But like really being a vegetarian, you realize how limited the options are. So they may think that they're doing enough, and they're just not.
So I definitely think the vegetarian, vegan options have been asked for on various occasions through students directly, through clubs on campus, through PETA, through numerous petitions that have been circulated at various times throughout the years.
Again, it has been really bad in the past, and it's much better than it was. And I think that it's important to at least acknowledge that it's been getting better.
I think that they're often given appeasements in small amounts, and that we're excited about those small amounts, but that it needs to be a larger amount and a bigger overhaul. And they need to stop giving cookie crumbs to people rather than actually giving them real options. And I think that a lot of people are just very disappointed or kind of worn out from asking and trying. And that's why they don't keep trying and keep trying, because they're told that this little tiny thing that they've been given, the one vending machine on campus that has vegan options, is great.
Being a vegetarian, you're already limited, and then when you cut out any animal byproduct whatsoever, it makes it a lot harder. And so I know in life, like, yeah, they've chosen kind of a hard lifestyle food-wise, but like it shouldn't be as hard as it is. Like they should have more options.
It's just caring. That's all it is.
You know, for ethics, for the environment, for health.
Eventually, UVU is going to have to address the fact that like we're a large university and we do have a big majority of vegetarians and vegans, and the more that we attract people from outside of the state and the country, the more that's going to be the case. And so I think they eventually need to just like suck it up and deal with it and give us the option besides what they have now. 'Cause it's not cutting it at this point.